My name is Francisco Carranza, and this is my report for Mr. Taylor, English 1302, Campus Safety. College safety is an issue that's been going on for a while but has not gotten much attention. Campus safety is an extremely important issue that needs to be addressed. Colleges need to do more to ensure that students and staff are protected and prepared for various events that can occur at any given moment. The length that campuses need to go to provide that safety for all personnel still has a long ways to go. It isn't just shootings that happens at campuses, but other forms of crimes as well. Colleges in the past have had to deal with crimes ranging from sexual assaults to mass shootings. In 2015, there were over 23 mass shootings in college campuses alone, Sandberg 2015. These shootings have taken place from small colleges such as community colleges to the bigger Division I schools. Shootings are not the only crimes that are being committed on campuses. Sexual assaults have been on a rise and in a very big way. One example was a large survey that was conducted in 2015 that stated that over 23% of college women surveyed said that they were assaulted, while it's 2015. An assault in this case was anything from unwanted touching to a kiss to actual rape. Some of these incidents took part when a woman was under the influence of drugs and/or alcohol. And out of that percentage, 11% actually reported that unwanted touching included actual penetration and oral sex. The report even went on to say that the percentage was higher for college seniors whom said that they had experienced some form of sexual assault throughout their 4 years of going to school. That number may not be all that accurate. Some college women never reported an incident due to repercussions. Colleges need to be more proactive in the ways that such crimes occur. The ability for a college student, male or female, to report a sexual assault should be confidential and swift. Any punishment for such crime should be severe to let everyone know that it will not be tolerated. It seems that a lot of these incidents have occurred with alcohol or drug use being involved. More could be done to limit the alcohol or drug involved crimes. Colleges could be given more classes before the beginning of schools on the problems of consuming alcohol. Every student could be made to attend required class to maybe let them know about the issues that can start by using drugs and/or alcohol. According to the National Institute of Alcoholism and Alcohol Abuse (NIH), 1 out of every 4 college students drink alcohol, and that many of them do it in a manner of binge drinking. The fact that over 1,800 students die from alcohol-related incidents should be a major concern for all college students. Letting students see facts such as that may open their eyes a bit. Although it would be difficult for colleges to completely keep alcohol off its grounds, they can help and keep everyone informed of the consequences. Aside from shootings, alcohol plays a big factor in sexual assaults, and I will say it again throughout this report. Colleges seem to put the blame on alcohol consumption on the students themselves rather than to say it's the school's fault. Schools don't really want to take on the issue of drinking to the board or the alumni for fear of losing funding or any types of benefits. And some of these schools have long time honored traditions that may indirectly include alcohol. Some colleges have tried to inform students by making the information available on their websites. Insothermo Community College has information about mental health on their school online website, Insothermo Community College, page 621. The school has some examples that students should be on the lookout for in other students. They want their student body to know that help is only a call away at security and that anyone can be able to identify a student who may have mental issues. The school has a list of specific problems to be on the lookout for, from anything from serious alcohol use to doing poorly in school. Granted, not everyone with these symptoms is going to be violent, but it's better to prevent them than to offer any help at all. Mental health, though, is a very touchy issue due to laws that prevent professionals from letting any person's diagnosis known to the public. It would be difficult to have someone suffering from mental disorders be kept tabs on and his or hers every move be watched. Also, having one or multiple mental professionals on site all day, all school year, could be very expensive. At the Ohio State University, they make it a point that safety is everyone's problem by posting it on their website. The New York Times in an article says that students have gotten to the point that they are reluctant to walk alone at night, Ball 2012. At the OSU, some students have formed groups so that when they travel at night, they do it in a group, and some students have signed up to take defensive tactics classes just in case that they had to fight off a defender. The University of Miami is even considering having license plate recognition software installed in their campuses as part of their surveillance system. Some colleges do offer night shuttles for their students to go home safely from the library to their dorms, but some say that wait times and lines are too long. Schools could install more metal detectors, though it may be expensive screening one, and time is an issue as well. But as much money as students pay for tuition, it should help to defer the cost. Other things that could be done by campuses are to hire more officers and make them more visible. That way, it may serve as a deterrent. Schools should be able to request more grants from the government to help offset cost and making students safer. Another idea could be something simple as providing more lighting in certain locations so that traveling at night is not an issue. Ever since the 2007 shooting of Virginia Tech, more campuses have implemented a mass notification system by informing students of possible dangers such as shooting. Schools could be held liable for not informing students of such events. The downside to mass student notification is that the shooter could get that type of information if he or she is a student there. Colleges could consider having closed campuses to where only current students could be allowed to enter campus. It would be costly, but it might help. Although some of the shooters involved in campus shootings have been students, it would be hard to monitor. Some critics argue that the cost of providing a lot of these methods in protecting students is very expensive. Some argue that people should not be armed, nor teachers, for fear of the proper training. Others say that having campuses tech students when incidents occurring is very expensive and may eat into the school's budget. The argument with providing mental health services is that it's expensive and it may lead to more backlash should fellow students find out about someone attending such classes. The safety of campuses should not be limited by the amount of money it has or the amount of students it has enrolled. Yes, not all schools are the same sizes, and not will all have the same crimes as others, but the government should help in keeping colleges safe. There have been opinions on how to try and deter shootings in school, from having students and administrators carry firearms to having students go through background check. The idea with administrators carrying firearms or students is not the best solution. One report went on to say that the idea of allowing guns on campuses will create problems, not solve them. Villahermosa, page 615. He goes on to say that students and teachers carry guns might seem like a great idea, but everyone will not be able to react in a hostile or adverse environment or situation. Even if the individual is a decent shooter, people do react differently under duress. The author goes on to explain the various reasons as to not have the students or teachers carry. Questions such as, what happens if the student or teacher misses? Will the teacher or student be prepared to face the consequences if indeed someone innocent is shot? These are all difficult questions that colleges, students, and teachers need to be able to answer should they be allowed to carry weapons. What if the shooter happens to get another firearm from a wounded teacher and thus use it against other students and therefore could inflict more damage? People may be well-rounded with the handling of a firearm, but until it actually happens, one's reaction could be different. And there is a possibility of an accidental discharge. The costs associated with every student or administrator going through a background check would be very costly, and it does not always keep a gun out of the hands of the wrong person. How many people have gotten a gun with no prior crimes and thus committed one? The fact that a young person carrying a firearm on campus does put more people at risk. College should be more responsible in keeping students safe. Some things are being done by Congress to help colleges safer. Right now, there is a bill that some senators are trying to get going. They have proposed a bill called the Campus Accountability and Safe Act, or CASA for short. Currently, the Department of Education is the one that handles how school falls in line with Title IX. When schools currently don't follow the Title IX regulations, schools and universities would just get a fine. Most critics argue that this isn't severe enough for a school because theoretically, all it does is punish schools for not handling sexual assault correctly. It does not have anything to do with handling out punishment for the actual criminal. What its composers hope is that it will do is to get the university to try and do more in the methods it has in preventing sexual assault. Understandably, it may be impossible to keep every student at campus safe, but things can be done to limit the amount of crime that occurs. Students should be fined more. Schools could be fined more severely and given harsher punishments for reoccurring crimes. Maybe that way they can do more to keep students safe. Although it isn't necessarily the school's fault, but having preventive measures in place will help in dealing with such issues. More information could be made out to prevent sexual assaults or burglaries or even consumption of alcohol. Even if colleges put restrictions on having alcohol on campus, it will not keep students from sneaking it in nor having it on campuses. Period. Colleges do have people speak to students during orientation, but not every student gets that kind of information. They need to give more. They need to give more alcohol awareness classes as well as a way to prevent drug use. The idea of having more officers or security on campus is a great idea. And although it will cost more, but it might just help in curbing alcohol and drug use on campuses. I agree that campuses have to do more, regardless of the cost, to make everyone on campus feel safe. There is no reason that a place of learning has to endure some of the crime that they have endured. Again, in the end, it's up to the college campuses to make and provide for a safe learning environment, but it also falls on the students themselves on how they conduct themselves around one another. Simple, maybe one cost-effective idea out there is having some form of neighborhood watch like many cities, but just have them on campuses. Maybe even having women and men carry whistles and using them when they are being attacked. But the best method I believe out there is having a proper education about committing such crimes. Sometimes maybe even that doesn't begin at the college level, but rather maybe the student was or is brought up incorrectly beforehand. In conclusion, more can be done to keep students safe, and money should not be a factor, although it is. Issues such as stronger gun control could help with mass shootings, making it harder for just anyone to get a firearm, even though it is a very sensitive subject. More information can be made available to students about the consequences of alcohol and drugs, not just on campuses, but outside of them. No matter how much or how many times a student goes through these speeches about the issues that arise from gun, alcohol, or drug use, it will not be a 100% certainty that crime will never occur on campuses. The only way to prevent such crimes is for students to take care of one another and be there when needed, whether it's for a good thing or a bad one. If it all falls on the students' hands on how they act. There may be influences, but in the end, it's up to us, the students, to keep each other safe. And that is my report for College Safety English 1302.